G'day viewers, we're here in a Bakerloo service on West Coast Mainline South, and we're just going to set this train up while I talk about some of the things that I'm not such a fan of that I'd love to see addressed. Alright, let's head up the back of the train. The first one you can see happening over there on the right. We're getting foliage popping in while I walk, and the shadows are popping in while I walk. Alright, that's the first thing. Not a fan of that. I know I can fix that with any settings, but I shouldn't have to. Alright, what do we want here? Tail lights, stapling light off, headlights off, cab light off, and destination light on. We want to set you to Queen's Park because that's where we're going. Alright, let's get this door closed. And there's another thing that I'm not a fan of. When we got the objective change, then the whole game went while it played the... Surely we can do better. The next thing you see, if you look at the track, I know this has been somewhat addressed in a more recent route, but track shadows, still not good. Alright, let's get that closed. Let's get this closed. Let's set our destination on this end. Queenie's Park. Do know someone called Queenie? Nice person. Destination light on, cab light off, headlights on, and tail lights off. And I put gauge lights on, didn't I? Good. Let's come over here and put in our control key and control key to on. That's a little bit fiddly. And do the drop light so I can actually run that. Now let's sit in the driver's chair. Now, next thing is I am using the Beast, and this is a TSW6 controller. I have to use third-party software for this thing to work because Train World doesn't support joysticks. Great if it did. Just saying. Okay, is it talking to the game? Yes, it is. Good. Okay, let's get our switch in, and we want to bring this to int, if I remember correctly. I want to bring this to off and release. Press the magic button. Okay, we are ready to go to Harold and Wheelstone almost, because now I need to set my reverser to forward and pull that towards me. We should be able to power on. Good. I've got the signal. Let's cruise along at just under 10 here. Don't know what that flickering is that's happening on the dash, but a lot of trains do seem to suffer from strange lighting. Now, my next pet hate, you can kind of see it in the straight lines here and there. You can't really see it when we zoom in, but often on fences you see a Moyer pattern. A Moyer pattern is the funny shapes that happen in anti-aliasing. Yes, I am seeing it on the fence on the left there, in the distance. So you can see this sort of wavy pattern. Not a fan of that. Other games have solved that. Other games using Unreal Engine. Got to stop up here at the car stop sign. Got to get the right one. The one that's for me would be helpful. All right, let's get the doors open. Just try to remember which button I was using then. Alright, close the doors. Now this is a pretty simple train to drive, but even so, it's one of the most commented ones that I get, and it's one of the most viewed tutorials I've got. I think it's got, I don't know, 5,800 views rather. Why is such a simple train difficult? That's not the game, it's just the thing. Anyway, watching the vegetation popping in as we drive along here, it really is a bit of an immersion buster. Not a fan, to be honest. You just heard some sound cut out from my traction motors then. Not highly desirable when that happens. Watching the track shadows creep out ahead of us here. Now, we'll emphasise other games have solved these issues. And yes, I'm an ambassador, but my duty to the role is to talk about stuff that players don't like, including me. We just saw a stutter. Bit of a hitch happened there. And we can see shadows of the gantries drawing in as we go under them, where they've got no detail, and now they're detailed. No detail, detailed. No detail, detailed. So, you know, it is just a little bit of an immersion buster as we approach Kenton. Rolling on in, my next issue with the game is a lack of diversity in the people. So before I open the doors, we're going to go back and have a look at that platform, because that is a fairly typical platform. Alright, now let's just go flick back and have a quick look at the platform before we open the doors and let them all in. So, adult female, adult male, adult male, adult female. So, skin colours, yeah, skin colours, we've got reasonably good representation across various skin colour groupings. So I don't really have an issue there, but what we don't have any fat people. We don't have any really skinny people. We don't have any short people. We don't have any tall people. We don't have any children. The world is without children. Now all of these people are going to get into the carriage. Let's follow them in. Uh-oh. Vanish. 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 But what happens is they come and... Here they are. Here, look. They're sitting down. Why don't they walk to the seats and sit down instead of just vanishing? Could be worse, I suppose. They could be walking down the track or standing on my head. Oh, wait. They do that too. That way. Now, on my monitor, I see a little bit of flickering here, which is to do with sync, which doesn't happen in the video. That one doesn't worry me so much because I know why that happens, and it's actually my fault. Shed. We are running the cargo line timetable on West Coast Main Line, which brings me to another thing. Without the cargo line timetable, freight on this was a bit dead. You can see those moire patterns happening in the sides of the containers again up there. As you roll along, anything about 100 metres in front of you seems to suffer from it. We can see shadows drawing in under the bridge. We can see shadows popping in on the trees on the left and now on the right as we cruise along. And I'm running ultra settings. I am running on a... It's still a reasonably high-end gaming PC. It's higher than the Steam standard benchmark. Ooh, shadows running down that centre rail. Quite distracting. So all of the things that I've talked about so far, things that have been here since Transcend World 2020. 2020, 2, 3, 4, 5, coming up in 6. Hoping to see some of the other fun things we see with people. Yeah, no one's getting in my train. You notice that? A lot of people got out. Probably 3/4 of them got out. Are we going to get anybody get in? No, they're just milling around on the platform. Why don't they get in? Are you going to get in? No, you're just going to mill around on the platform. So no one's getting in. It's all a bit weird, and the milling is a little weird. The way they do things. So this is juddering and stuff is, yeah, it's a bit uninteresting. So passengers need some work. They really do. They're not amazing. And now they'll all try and get in the train. That way. So we heard when the Pendo left then that there was a dramatic jump in the volume of my train, which is a bit interesting. Can barely hear it inside, which is correct. As we approach North Wembley. Still watching shadows popping in, of course. Hey, mate. Ah, there's one of my other pet things. Let me just start this braking for that one, and let's pop over here. In practically every competitor to Train Sim World, the scenery does stuff. So we've got cars driving around, but excavators and things don't work. But, you know, every other game does. Even Train Sim Classic they do. Get little things buzzing around the place. We need little animations like that. They bring life in. Route clutter has gotten a little bit better, but this route, in reality, there's rubbish everywhere. It's like you're in India. There's just stuff all over the place. And it's not represented on any route. None of the routes are really dirty. And they should be. The trains could be dirtier as well. I mean, some operators keep their trains quite nice, like Avanti. So I'm happy to see Avanti trains clean. But others, like Cross Country, their trains are filthy. People appearing and disappearing again. Wandering up here, here's one of my other pet delights. Unrealistic collectibles. How did this get here? Right, it's a little robot. And you're supposed to fix the little robot and close its lid so it can get on its way. But I see a set of stairs. And that's it. This is not an accessible platform. So how did a robot on wheels get here? Did it come by train? I suppose it could have. I don't know. Oh yeah. Why don't mirrors work? Come on. Unbranded rolling stock. That actually doesn't worry me, to be honest. I get why it is. I'd rather have the rolling stock than have it branded, so... I know that bugs some people, but it doesn't bug me too much. As we head off towards Wembley Central. It's interesting watching the level of detail on the ballast get quite detailed. 3 or 4 meters in front of the train, and then it just stretches out and disappears as we go. There was another hitch. You can see the fence drawing on the right there, complete with a Moya pattern behind where it's drawing. Here's another one of the things. Light baked areas. Some of them are really good. This one's not too bad once you get in here, once the eye adaptation actually finally works. Eye adaptation is not good. Now, I know it's difficult to get a balance right between start of day and end of day. Start of day and end of day are quite nice. But when the sun's up higher, it's not good. And the transitions from light to dark and dark to light aren't brilliant. There's no other way to put that. It's just not good. And I really wish they were. Now, while I agree there's no one simple adjustment to the eye adaptation and there's no one simple adjustment to the lighting, I think you could do it programmatically, because you could look at where is the sun in the sky? Okay, the sun's up really high. Let's change the gamma. The sun's down really low. Okay, we can leave the gamma at normal. I would think those things were possible. And despite offering constructive feedback on this sort of thing for a long time, nothing. You can see the fence drawing away again down there. I had to zoom in. Look, if I zoom in, it undraws and then draws. It's disconcerting. Now, that's what optimization is. It's the optimization is the enshittification of the graphics, essentially. And I can use that word because it is in fact in the dictionary now. It was introduced last year as part of the English language. At least it's the Australian variant. I don't know if the colonisers included it or not. Heading off to Stonebridge Park, we're inside another very bland, tunnely area. So there was no reverb in there from the sound. There was no change to anything that I could detect. I know the sound's turned down a little bit low because I'm talking to you. But, you know, we're running again in a cutting now. Why isn't the sound different? Should be. Would be in reality. Even though my traction motors are working really hard right now, I don't hear a lot of them. There was another hitch. You can resolve a lot of the hitching and stuttering by having decent hardware. Having a good SSD will help. Whoop. See, once we've gotten up close to this thing, the lighting's not too bad and it looks quite nice, but look at how it fades as we run away, and look at the level of detail change as we run away. Surely, couldn't that level of detail stay once it's drawn it? There we go, level of detail going up, level of detail going away, and the cab's changing quite a bit. We got people getting in the train? No. People are being people. At least none of them have taken off into space yet. There was a cutout in the sound there. Another excavator doing nothing. I don't think we've got one of my other pet peeves on this line, which is tree branches that hit you in the face and actually come through the cab. Yes, trees extend into the loading gauge. It's not uncommon. but they don't come into your cab through the wall. And if they do, your train's not drivable after they have, because, you know, you've wrecked it. You're going to get a new one. Now, the next thing that's missing in this game is we're driving a service. Wonderful. There's hundreds of other services. Wonderful. But where's my sense of purpose? This is a big one for me. I will sit down and I'll play Railroader for 16 hours straight, to the point that I actually get yelled at by my family. I don't desire getting yelled at by my family, and I need to take care of that and make sure that I don't put myself in that situation or put them in that situation either. But Railroader's got a sense of purpose because I have contracts to fulfill, I've got things to deliver, I've got tracks to make, I've got all that sort of thing. And coming up, I'm going to have maintenance away, which looking forward. And there's maintenance activities. Brilliant. We've got all these services. Would it be very hard to tie them together as a shift? Now, that doesn't mean going up and back, up and back, up and back, up and back. Now, you can do that now because you can return to free roam, grab your next one. Oops, just got to move up a little bit, excuse me. There we go. Lovely. You can go to the next one, but real drivers and real guards, that is not actually what they do. They'll do a run, and then they have a break, and when they do the next run, it could be the same train, so you might take it out to an end place, a terminus somewhere, and you might bring it back. But chances are, it's actually a different train, because someone else has taken the one that you had. It's just how it works. So I'd love to see a concept of shifts where I'm working across trains. Now, in the modern world, in the UK at least, they even work across operators now. So with all the merging and stuff that's going on, a driver might leave one train and go and run a completely different one. Different model. Same with the guards. I'd love to see stuff like that come in. I don't know if anybody leaves a Bakerloo and goes and runs a suffragette or a Mildmay or something like that. I don't know if that happens, but I certainly saw it happen with West Midlands. They do it. So, concept of a shift to give it some purpose. Here is your set of runs that you're going to run, and you just move from one to the other. It'd be really cool. And I don't think that would be all that hard. The next area I'd love to see some purpose is freight. So I'm not a fan of getting in my freight train in the first station of the game and driving it to the last station in the game. I know people are. Good on you. Happy for you. But I'm not. I want a reason. I want to take freight from a depot to a depot. I would love to be able to do, and this, I don't know how much this applies in other countries, but in the US they do locals, where you actually deliver stuff to sidings along the way. There's not much of that in the game. There was a little bit in San Bernardino, but a lot of the drop-off points at the start, and at least one, maybe two of them still are, actually outside the playable area. No one checked it. So, checking of stuff leaves a little bit to be desired sometimes. Now, I can't blame beta testers for that. I used to be one. I know how it works. I know the timings of when stuff comes together. You can't expect miracles from those guys. They try their best. I used to do it, tried my best. But basic things like a service starting or finishing outside the playable area is not cool, and that should be something that could be checked programmatically. It shouldn't have to wait for a beta tester, or worse yet, a player to find it after release. I massively looked forward to showing off San Bernardino with its local freight, and then I'm doing a stream and we end up outside the playable area, or we can't finish. So outside the playable area it just ends. If you can't get to the point because you can't get through a locked gate or something, it just finishes. You can't finish, you can't do anything more. You just got to bail on it. There's another hitch. So I understand the technical reasons why some of this stuff exists. Things like the hitches and the jitters and stuff that we see from time to time. And I do get, oops, going a bit fast, I do get that there has been work on it. But there hasn't been a lot of progress on it. And an achievement for something that I've probably done 720 miles. Oh, here we go. Dynamic weather has just started to rain. Do I have a button for wipers on here? No, I don't. I've got to figure out how to do wipers now. It'll be around there somewhere. 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 Don't actually know where it is. Oh well, we'll just put up with the rain. It's fine. I could figure it out, but we're almost at the end. Surprisingly, it did actually pick... I really can't find anywhere for wipers. What's that? Traction test. Cab light, fan speed. Oh, there's another interesting thing. Headlights. Why don't they work? Why don't they show off the universe? They're either so bright, they're like looking into the sun, or they do nothing, like these ones. Now, in the old Bakerloo, sure, you can excuse it. It was an old train. No one really knew. But this is a modern Bakerloo. These are LED headlights. They're actually quite bright. But, and here we go with an eye adaptation. Searingly bright. Where are the bloody wipers? Must exist somewhere. No? Can't remember the last time I actually had to find them. There'll be somewhere really obvious. Somewhere that I'll just kick myself for when I actually find them and go, oh, there they are. I assume it has wipers, surely. Does it have wipers? Yeah, there they are. So how do I turn them on? Some of those. I know there's a control key for it, but I don't want to use the control key. I'm not actually seeing a control to turn the wipers on and off anywhere. I mean, that could be realistic, I don't know. Doors, traction test. Don't know what a PEA is. De-icing fluid. No, don't know. That's fine. I should watch my own tutorial. It probably tells me how to turn the wipers on. Oh yeah, I got up, so the brakes need to pump up, don't they? Can we go? We can go? Can we go? No, we can't go. Whoosh. Have I still got the doors open, maybe? Let's have a look. No? No. What's happened, train? You got mad because I stood up on you. There we go. Got mad because I stood up. You could usually figure out what's going on. Queen's Park is our next stop. We have a couple of reds before we get there. Highly repetitive graffiti is another one of my exciting points. I can put up with that to some extent. Just roll up on this red up here. Not that I can see it, because I can't find my wipers. I'm going to totally kick myself when I find the switch and go, oh yeah, there it is. But not so far. Alright, we have gone green. As we make our way towards our little destination. At least with the rain, it makes it harder to see the pop-in on the trees. Another sound cut out there. There's plenty of traffic on this one. It's quite alive. Routes that aren't alive bug me. So there's nothing less exciting than a dead route. Inconsistency is another exciting one. So contact signal are on the phone. Often it's on something else, like it might be on the GSMR or something like that. Why can't it always be on the phone? Some of them don't even have it. Another one is bugs that aren't fixed, like the digital displays on PS5. If you click into a display there, you're stuffed. You can't do anything with it. You have to set in your settings that you don't want to zoom in on the displays automatically. And it's been like that for over a year. Now, being one of the PC master race, as people tend to call us, I don't usually experience blurry textures and things like that because I'm not running out of video memory. But on the consoles, it's been an issue for quite a while on the Xboxen and to some extent the PlayStation, mostly the Xboxen. And that's not been addressed. It's been 2 years, literally 2 years. Because that started happening in the cycle of TSW4, and we're coming into TSW6 now, so it has been that long. I think this service is about to end. When I pop outside, why did I end up here? Camera consistency would be good.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Mind the gap.
So there you go. Biting the hands that feeds me. That's a bit of a rundown of the things that I'm not too much of a fan on. And I know that those things aren't addressed in 6. And it does bug me. It's annoying that we've gone through multiple versions and these basic things don't get addressed. I would really like them to. So I don't know where we go from here. I still love the game, play it all the time. You know that. I like streaming it. But there are things that get my goat. And, you know, it's no point whitewashing over things. They're there. You know they're there. I know they're there. I know some of the ambassadors do just go, it's fine. But it's not really. And I'd like to see some of these things improved. I really would. Anyway, that's it for this one. So I will see you again for the next one. And we will go from there. And yeah, look, granted, not every game's perfect. None of them are. There's always going to be issues. But some of these things have been around for a long time. And they are kind of annoying things that I would love to see fixed. Alrighty, have fun, folks. Enjoy yourselves. Make sure you have more of this and less of this. And enjoy, and we'll see you on the next one. Like and subscribe if you want to. Let me know what you don't like down in the comments. Yeah, you're welcome to put your feedback in there. The only thing I ask is be polite about it. That's it. Polite, constructive, all good. Alrighty, have fun. See you later. Bye.
We played a game.